Hi everyone, welcome to Calm in the Chaos Homeschool. If you're new here, my name is Davine and I homeschool 4 kids ages 11, 12, 12, and 15. And today's video is the last video of my term 2 updates. Today I'm going to be talking about how my 8th graders curriculum have been going for this school year. And so if you want to see my other curriculum for term 2, you'll want to watch my morning basket video, my family subjects video, and then I have my 5th and 6th graders curriculum, and then I have my 7th graders curriculum, and today is my 8th graders curriculum. Now, if you're looking for curriculum that is more at an 8th or 9th grade level, you'll want to go back and watch my 7th graders curriculum because she does a lot of work at a higher level. Now, today, my 8th grader, I do have to adjust her curriculum quite a bit because academics can be a bit of a challenge for her sometimes. So I'm going to show how I do that for my 8th grader, and let's get started. So I'm going to start with, first of all, every week I print out something like this. It's a spreadsheet that I have, and I have the whole year. I kind of plan it out and I space it out and I add and subtract from this year plan. And then once a week I print off something like this. Now, originally I had been handing this to her and having her write it in her planner, like plan out what she wanted to do, but that was a little bit too much for her. It was hard for her to decide where to put what and to organize her days in a way that made sense, as far as some days we were busier, some days we were less busy. And so it was becoming an argument and a struggle every week. So I took over the job of that. I print this off for myself, and then I go ahead and I schedule it out for her each day. I tell her what to do and I try to balance it based on what we're doing that week. Now, this is a skill that she is going to need to learn to do on her own. However, I didn't feel like the fight was worth it at this point, and so I just took over that, and that is working a lot better. She was taking like 2 hours to decide what to do when. So maybe after modeling it for a while, maybe we can try this again next year. I guess we'll see. All right, so I have this here to make sure I don't forget anything. I'm gonna start with her math. So for math this year, she has been doing CTC Math. That is a new math program for us this year. I've actually been using it with her and my 2 boys. She transferred over from the Good and the Beautiful, which we used for about 2 years, and she really enjoyed that until she didn't. And then at some point it just became too much of a struggle and she wanted to change. And so I gave her a few options and she tried out a few different programs and she settled on CTC Math. And I have been very happy with CTC Math. I have been happy about how it has worked for her and for my 2 boys. I would say 2 out of 3 of my kids improved by like a whole year when we did our testing. We have to do testing because we're part of a parent partnership program. So over 4 months, they improved like a year's worth on their testing. And I am pretty sure it's because of the mastery way that CTC Math covers the subjects. They just needed that. They needed to not be doing spiral review all the time. Now, CTC Math does have some review. You have review sheets that you can do once a week, and you can create your own reviews, which I don't do. I just have them do a review sheet once a week, and that has worked out really well for us. So this mastery-based approach has worked really well. So she's working on the level 6. I think we started out trying to do level 7, and we could tell right away that was not the right level for her. So we went to 6. And what I do like about CTC Math is you are buying a subscription, so you can progress, really truly progress at your own pace. If you finish a level early, you can continue on to the next level. If you need to jump forward or backwards, you get the whole K to 12, all the math curriculum that they have under your subscription. So you can even jump around within the year. And so we started at level 7. It wasn't working well. We went to 6, and that was the right fit for us. And we've been moving along, and I think we're pretty on pace for finishing 6 this year. So we're not going any faster, but she has improved with her math testing scores. So that was really nice to see. And we're just going to keep using CTC Math because it has been working for us. Now, next I have on here her devotions. So my kids all have their own personal devotions, and my girls had finished up the one that I had assigned them this year. And so I gave them a bunch of options on what to pick for their next devotions. And I do have a video showing the options I gave them, so I will link that below. But out of all the options, she picked this. So this is Bible Investigators Creation. Now, this is a really cool book if your child loves logic, activities, puzzles, things like that. They have a mix of just questions about what you're reading, and then they have puzzles and activities that go along with what they're learning. So she took a look at this and she thought it looked really cool and amazing. And she has been really enjoying it. I will say that she doesn't do a lot of the activities, which is totally fine. I knew that these activities would be too challenging for her in general. It says for 8 to 12-year-olds, and I would say it would definitely fit some 8 to 12-year-olds. I could definitely say you could probably go higher than that. That would be totally fine. I would say up through maybe up to 14, 15, depending on your child. And we have done some of the activities. I basically told her that I would like her to set her timer for 20 minutes. And I want her to definitely answer the questions that the investigator notebook questions. So those are the questions that they ask about what they read in scripture. But any extra time they have, she can choose to work on an activity, and she could just pick the activity she wants to work on. And I don't care if she does all the activities. I just want her to do some of the activities and try to do some of the activities. And I said I would help her if there were any activities that she really wanted to do. So we have a Monday meeting time. And so this is something that if she wants to do one of the activities, I will help her with it after we've gone through all of her corrections for the week before. Next, the language arts curriculum that I picked for her this year was EIW level 8. And this was a big mistake on my part. I did not realize how challenging this curriculum was. And the fact that I picked an 8th level for her in 8th grade was pretty ridiculous, and I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking I wanted to keep both my 7th and 8th grader at the same level, and I just didn't think that this was going to be as challenging as it is, and it is quite a challenging curriculum. So the first half of it is grammar, and so we got through it. I did adapt. I did take out some questions. I did help her a lot. I skipped certain chapters where I'm like, you don't need to know how to write that right now. I just want you to be able to write a good sentence. We don't need to worry about adding complex, compound, I don't know, all these different types of I just need her to be able to write proper sentences. And so this was much more advanced than I wanted for her. And I was waiting to get to the writing portion because I really picked it up for writing. We have grammar programs that we like and enjoy. I didn't really need it for grammar, but I just did the grammar anyways. And I was waiting till we got to writing. And then we got to writing, and I was hoping things would improve, and they did not. They have video lessons that teach all the steps of the writing process, but she is not one that can watch a video and then understand what's happening and know how to write and do the process. And so I don't have time to sit with her and go through the whole process individually, and then I don't really even enjoy how they're teaching it so much. So at that point, we got halfway through the book, and I'm just like, I gave her a different option. I said, we can keep using this, and we can keep struggling through this if you would like. I don't know how we'll do it, but we can keep working on this. Or you can join me and your brothers, so her 5th and 6th grade brothers. They are working on IEW's Fables, Myths, and Fairy Tales, this. And so this is intended for 3rd through 5th grade. I'm using it for my 5th and 6th grader. It is perfect for my 5th and 6th grader, and it is totally perfect for her as well because she has done the Structure and Style 1A, so that's the first year, and that's also 3rd through 5th grade. So she has gone through this program before, and it actually really helped her writing. It got her from like barely writing a paragraph to writing 3-paragraph essays, and she really seemed to enjoy writing, and she started doing some research papers on her own about things that she really liked. And so I thought that this was a good one to go back to. It is not too simple. It's going to be easier, but it's not going to be too easy. and it will be a good review on doing the keyword outline. And she's one who needs a lot of structure. So if you watched my 7th graders video, I said, I need some ideas for high school. I need to know what to do with her for writing for high school. EIW is, well, I don't want EIW. I don't like EIW. IEW was too formulaic, too structured for her. She's really a creative writer. Well, this daughter, she is the perfect candidate for IEW. And I don't know. I just wanted to try to keep her with my 7th grader, but actually putting her with my 5th and 6th grader is probably a better fit. Though teaching the 3 of them together might be a challenge. We've only had a few lessons so far, but this curriculum in itself is definitely a better fit for her. So I'm hoping that will go okay. We're just starting with this with her. I think the level's going to be right. So that is something that we have switched. And I would say this is probably one of the biggest mistakes I made in my curriculum picks for the year. I did not fully understand this program when I picked it. And so it has been a struggle for both my 7th and 8th grader, but especially my 8th grader. So that is writing. That's the switches that we've made in writing.
I forgot to mention that since she wasn't doing EIW and we are only working on IEW twice a week, I decided to go back to have her finish Easy Grammar Grade 4. She was very close to the end on this, but I kind of stopped it when we started EIW. So I added this to her workload, and she's just going to finish this up before the end of the school year.
Now, other language arts things that we are doing, she has Wordly Wise, Book 5. And this is her first year using Wordly Wise, and I was a little bit not sure on how this would go. And it has been working actually pretty well. She doesn't love it. It does challenge her. And I would say that this level is the right level for her. I think it's going really well, actually, because when she really puts her mind to it, she is able to answer the questions correctly, and she's getting much better at doing these reading comprehensions and then being able to find the answers to the questions. So I would say this has been a win for us. It's funny, I used Wordly Wise when I was an ESL or ELL teacher, and my students didn't love it, but I thought it was a good curriculum. But I never thought I would use it in my homeschool, and I'm actually using it for 3 out of my 4 kids after a few years. So I don't know. I think it's a good vocabulary program. It makes you use words in different ways. It really stretches the kids. It's not like super easy. So I've liked using Wordly Wise much more than I expected to like using it. Another thing we're using for language arts is Reading Detectives. She is doing the 1A, so that is grades 5 and 6. Same thing, she does need quite a bit of help with this. We are doing pretty well on it. Yeah, so she does need quite a bit of help, but I do feel like she has been improving in her reading comprehension and in her ability to find the information. I don't want to show any of these pages, but generally you'll have a page that has something to read, and then you'll have a page of answering questions about the reading, and then you're supposed to cite your sources. So they'll ask you what sentence made you think that, or what paragraph do you get this information from? So I'm hoping it'll help with her reading comprehension when it comes to state testing, because we are part of a parent partnership program. So we do state testing. So it'd be nice to see some improvements in her reading comprehension scores. Another language arts component we have is Spelling UC. She is working on level E. She started about 3 years ago in level C, and we've just been working our way slowly through this. This is part 1, so we still have part 2. We do this maybe 3 to 4 times a week. So we're not going super fast. We take our time with this. I have seen great improvement in her spelling using this. We went from when we first started getting a lot of the words wrong, and now she gets a few words wrong each passage. So great improvement on this, and she's just really using those phonetic skills that she has been building to spell. So I have found Spelling UC to be a great program for my struggling spellers. I use it for 2 of my kids, and I've seen improvement using this program over time. Definitely did not see improvement right away, but I would say 6 months to a year in, I could start seeing the improvement. And over time, I've seen great improvement. And list type spelling causes too much stress and pressure on my kids. So this strategy of chunking and then copy work, and that it's just worked really well for my kids. All right, like her sister, they both have this, My Year of Writing, just cute little short writing activities. Yeah, so this is just a fun component that I've added for their language arts. I'll schedule it like twice a week. They do like 2 each time. Really easy, fast, just something to add a little bit of fun. Definitely appropriate for elementary school as well. Probably not so much middle school, but I don't know. I thought it would look fun, so I picked it up. Okay, 2 more things that I have here is handwriting. She is doing the Good and the Beautiful handwriting. Not sure what level she's on, maybe level 5. She really enjoys that. We do that maybe every day, most of the time. She likes that. And then she has been doing typing. We've been doing typing.com. I have paid for the subscription this year. We had issues with pop-up ads last year, and it's super inexpensive to pay for the subscription for typing.com. So I spend less than $10 a month for all my kids to be on typing.com, and it's definitely a better experience without the pop-up ads. So if you're looking for a online typing program, if you do the subscription, I can recommend typing.com. All right, and then last of all, we have our reading. So she has been reading different books this year. Her last book that she finished was The Bridge Home. She really loved this book. She really enjoyed it. She kept talking about how much she liked this book. And that is set in India. So we are just studying geography in different places in the world. And so I'm picking books for them to choose from different places in the world. And then this is Omar Rising, also set in the India region, maybe not exactly India, not sure, either Sri Lanka or India. So she's reading that one, also a good book so far. And what she does with that is she'll do an oral narration. So she'll come and tell me what she read that day. And then she'll do a reading log day. So she is using Not Consumed Reading Log. I gave her the option of doing the elementary version or the middle school version because I felt like she could benefit from this version, and she chose this one. So I was glad that she picked this. It's a little less complicated. They have each day you do something like this. It says, share it. The book is so blank that I must tell who about it, and here's why. And then write or draw a different ending to the story. And then question before reading, question after reading, question while reading. So, and then they talk about like setting, characters, things like that. So very basic parts of a story. So she'll do this every other day. So oral narration, reading log, oral narration, reading log. And then the 5th day, she is doing a science reading. So for her science reading, I have bunch of different science biographies about different scientists. And so the one she is currently doing is Albert Einstein. And so what she does is she'll read a chapter or 2 of that, whatever I have assigned, and she will use her science notebook to do a narration. So I created a bunch of these science notebooks. Actually, my daughter designed the notebook, and then we uploaded it onto KDP. I will link below a link to a bunch of different notebooks and styles, but the insides are about the same. So let me find a good example. Okay, let's find one about Albert Einstein. So we have a page, so she writes the title, she writes what she read, she's supposed to do an illustration, and if she doesn't do an illustration, she's supposed to write a bit more of narration. So they could write a shorter narration and do an illustration, or they can write a longer narration. So she has her narration there of what she read on Albert Einstein that day. And so this is her science notebook, and she uses it for different things. So that's her science reading, which happens every 5th day. And that leads us into science. So for science this year, 2 days out of 3, she is working on Sonlight G, and that's geology, physics, and origins. And this is her notebook. And basically I have the teacher, the grid here, photocopied here, so I can tell her due day 71, and she knows what to do on that day. So she follows the grid, and she does the reading that is required. The reading has been out of this, What's Science All About? And so she'll usually read like a 2 to 4 page spread, and they have activity questions to answer. So in the back of this notebook, I have a tab, And then I have all the activity pages here, so she knows what to answer for her science. So like I said, she does that 2 days, and then she does something different that I assigned her. So we've been reading a few of these. I think she read The World of Chemistry last term. This term, she's working on exploring the world of physics. And I just thought these looked like really great books by a Christian author. So this is John Hudson Tinner. I actually went and collected all of his so I can pick them out whenever I want to add them to something. And her curriculum this year is focused mostly on chemistry and physics. So that's why we picked those two. And so she'll read some pages, and then in her notebook, she will write a narration. So same thing, she'll title it, she has a picture, a caption, and then she will do a narration here. Now for her, as far as science goes, I allow her to do more of a copywork approach for the science because it's harder for her to do a narration. So pick something that you learned that's interesting from this book and copy it down. So that's what she does for her science on that third day. All right, and then we have geography. Geography is mostly a family subject. We do a lot of that together, but my 7th and 8th grader are doing this at a high school level. And so they are using Guest Hollow's high school geography. This is just the workbook, but basically there's an online textbook. So they're reading the online textbook, and then they are completing worksheets in this workbook. So they have questions that they need to answer. And then once in a while, I have them doing different activities based on the countries that we're studying. So that is what she's doing. So at this point, I'm counting her geography as a high school credit because we are using a high school level geography, and we are not finished it yet, but once we finish it, I will give her her first credit. So it'll be in her 9th grade year that she gets that first credit. I'm counting her science as a high school level because I've just been adding things to it, and I just feel like she is not going into a science field, and I want to get a head start on some of these credits. And also the Sonlight G can be for high school. So I'm giving her a science credit for her science this year. And so basically those are the 2 credits that she is working on getting her first high school credits. Other than that, we'll get started next year. She's going into 9th grade, and we will be really officially working on those high school credits. All right, so that is everything that I have for my 8th grader. I hope that gave you a good idea of how I adapt it to fit her level, to fit how she learns. And yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know how your term 2 is going. How is everything that you picked? Have you had anything that you've had to totally change? Like our writing, we've had to change. Do stick around if you're interested in our curriculum picks, because this is the last video of this series. My next series is going to be my curriculum picks. I'm going to be going through our math, our language arts, our family subject type things, so science, geography, history, those things, and then our electives. And not only that, but they're also going to be collaboration videos. So that means you won't just see my video, you'll see a lot of other homeschool moms and their picks for next year. So definitely want to give me a like and subscribe if you want to see when those videos come up. Those are the ones coming up starting next week. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope to see you all in future videos. Bye, everyone.